Hello, everybody. I am Stephanie D. Sanders, and this is Moving and Shaking, where I get a chance to talk to some of the people out there moving it and doing a little bit of shaking. And this guy right here, I was like, Lord, I got to get him on the show, child, because he's doing a lot of things. And it's really good to see his progress over the years. And before I get too much into it, I want him to be able to tell his own story. Corey Tumer is in the building talking to me today. Hey, Corey, how are you?
Doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, doing good. Finally got a chance to sit down and chit chat with you a bit because I know you be running, I'll be running, and making it happen. But this show is really about people out there, those go-getters making things happen, in the industries that they're in. And I know that you are into the event planning thing, and I mean you're in heavy. But did you actually start off wanting to do event planning, or where did this thing all kick off for you?
No, I never thought I would even be in this field of business. Honestly, when I was in college, I played basketball. So the idea was to be a full-time teacher and coach basketball.
Okay.
And then my senior year, I was blessed to be able to pledge Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. And
Hmm.
once I got involved with that, we did a step show at Florida Classic, and my one of my biggest mentors who taught me the game was over the events, and I kind of got my eyes on seeing over 20,000 people at the step show, and then he invited us to an after party after that he was hosting, and from there I was like, yo, I want to get down with something like this.
Hmm. Hmm. You're like,
And
I'm in, I'm all in,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
It takes those moments just like that. We don't always know exactly when that's going to hit for us, but you're in the right place at the right time to
yep,
meet that person. And then it's like a light bulb. I mean, people say that, but it's really like that. It's just something click,
yeah.
in you. And it's like, okay, I feel really connected to that, you know. Now,
So
do you,
I got on the phone with him a couple times and kind of just tried to learn a little bit about it,
mhm.
for about 5 or 6 months before I put myself out there. And I hosted my first step show uh that next year, and it was a very big success for where I was starting at. You
Now,
know,
did you start while you were still there at school? That was the first one.
I started my first year when I was teaching.
Okay,
My,
okay.
my college coach allowed me to have the gymnasium on the day that they didn't have anything going on, um,
Mm-hmm.
for free. The
Mm.
gym for free. I invested $200 on flyers, and I pretty much got out of town, got all around Polk County trying to see if anybody had step teams. And
Mm-hmm.
lucky behold, there was a couple step teams that was in the area. So
Wow.
that only helped that Kathleen had a team, Lakeland had a team, Lake Gibson had a team, and Haines City had a team.
Oh my goodness.
And then I started sending emails out to a couple different people out of town, and had about 7 or 8 teams. And man, that's where I started at. After that one right there, it was on and popping from there.
Wow. So what do you love the most about it? The idea part when it started coming together, or the combination of everything?
The combination of everything, but I love seeing people have a good time, and
Uh-huh.
having a good time when it's structured. Like they don't have to worry, be looking behind their heads about issues that are going on.
Yes.
And kind of, always seeing people, adapt to the different changes of the themes and the rules and regulations that I put. I won't say rules and regulations, but the organization of what I put in the event, and they kind of
Hmm.
follow those guidelines.
And see,
Um,
I love that. I love that. When you see different things out there, and it's a theme that applies to it, because people get excited about that. Having to dress this way or wear this
yeah,
color or whatever.
yeah.
You really get into that whole planning stage. We used to do that back in the day. Now I'm older than you. We ain't gonna say no ages, but I mean, we used to do little stuff like that, and we'd be planning our little stuff to go down to the Coleman Bush or wherever it was going to be at. But
Yeah,
then I think it's even more special when it has a theme to it,
yeah,
because it puts you in that mindset unless you just kind of go with it and have a good time. Now,
right.
what do you find to be the most challenging about this?
The most challenging thing is, for me, dang man, that's uh being able to get people to come out of Polk County. It's probably the most challenging thing.
Uh-huh.
So I host events in Tampa, being able to get them to come over there in masses, not just a small crowd. Uh,
Uh-huh.
when I do Florida Classic, I get huge support from Polk County. But
Yes.
normally when I'm doing something in Tampa, I think just the challenge of getting them to come over to Tampa is
Mm-hmm.
probably one of the biggest challenges, and the lack of venues that we have is a huge challenge over here as well. You know, we're still trying to buy in the Polk County, not the people that go out, but the city,
Mm-hmm.
the different cities, believing that we as a urban culture can put together events without having the drama.
Right, right, right. And you've been able
Like,
to do that almost effortlessly. But I think it's also too a certain mindset that you have to have going into this, that you want to have it at a certain level and keep it at that certain level of excellence about
yeah,
what you're doing. And I love that,
it's
because
a learning process. When I
hmm
first got into this business, I was dealing with teen events,
hmm
and I got drilled by LPD, drilled because I had too many kids.
yeah,
At that time, I
hmm
personally wasn't trying to learn the business side of it. I was only chasing money at that time.
uh-huh,
I had to learn the business side of it is number one, safety. So
yes,
ways to go about doing things. I think that's probably the most important thing for me is I want to make sure that everybody's safe. So I'm always going to hire LPD. I'm
hmm
always hire the sheriffs when I can't hire LPD. I'm
hmm
going to have that presence on site, and then just having the people that work details
hmm
want to come work for you and not feel like they're not feeling safe. That it's
yes,
okay for them to leave home and say, "Hey, honey, I'm going to work a 4 hour detail at a Fourlife event," and it's not that type of party where you're gonna have guns and all this crazy violence around. It's something that we can hang out and then just clear the parking lot out at the end of the night.
wow. See, and then some things you were saying is how you had to learn about that. And it
Yes,
wasn't initially about, let me just go chase the money because the money will come.
come
You know what I'm saying? But you set your own structure to it and you thought about other people in the process,
right.
which is a really good thing. So, I mean, that just that in itself lets you know that you actually care about the people, not just the party, not just
Yeah.
the event, not just the money. So,
No,
but you want to have a good time.
yeah,
So,
the people come first. I mean, that's the priority number one.
hmm
Something I've always built myself on is people want refunds. I'm never holding back on things like that. I mean, I
hmm
want to be able to say, hey, I'll come next time. I don't want to get into the situation where,
yes.
you have an emergency and then you don't spend this type of money and it's no refund. No, I want to be able to, hey, you gonna come back next time? Yeah, I'll come back. Appreciate you. I did not want to come, but
hmm
emergency came up. So it's just taking care of the people. I think that's always been my thing. And for me, I'm in a business where most promoters want to party. That's
hmm
not that's not what I do. I don't want to pop bottles and stand there. I want to be able, I sell you a table, I sell you a section.
hmm
If I sell you, if it's an issue, you can come directly to me and
hmm
I'll fix it. Not run around and say, well, he on stage popping bottles and somebody trying to get him and he ignoring. No, I want to be that priority, that you're priority number one.
Wow, wow, wow. You keeping the business at the forefront of everything. See,
Everything.
this is what I'm talking about. That's
That's probably why
exactly
I've
why.
lasted so long in the game. I mean, I've been honest, I've been been promoting since '99.
hmm
I think that's kind of why. I'm not a second go-to person.
Yes.
I'm a first go-to.
Yeah. 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 And just that whole structure that you have about the way you function as a person,
Yeah,
because the way you function as a person comes out in what you do. And people see you as a quality act and a quality, upstanding person outside of this, then they're more apt to believe in you and what you're doing after that. Oh yeah, he had a good party before. He's a
yeah,
real upstanding kind of person. And you
correct.
let all that just bleed right into your work, which is good for people. People, I'm trying to tell you, it's always good. Do your best to have good character. Do your
Yeah,
best to have a good mindset. Do your best to think constructively and positively. and pay attention to the people that you're working with. Because
Correct.
that's a thing too. I know you probably had to go through something like that, and some of the people you may have had to work with and may have had to say, okay, no, this is not necessarily for you, but we're still good,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely have to
Mm-hmm.
deal with that. So it's a tricky business.
Yes, and it
Definitely gotta
can
watch
be.
who you work with. You gotta watch
Ooh,
who you work with.
I'm sure. I am so sure. And I mean
Not that I'm
that
better than anybody. Y'all just put
that's
that
right. That's
together.
right.
Just
That's
that
right.
the way I handle business, it's a reflection on me and
Exactly.
how I want things to be. So you might not run your business the same way. And
Right.
if it's not the same way, then I don't want to be a part of what you got going on.
Yeah. And you know what? That's okay. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? It's okay because even in like what I do with entertainment and stuff like that, there been roles that I've had to say no, I'm not going to audition for that.
yeah,
I don't align with that. Though every role is not Stephanie, per se, but at some point you have to draw a line for yourself, for your own personal self.
that's right.
What's gonna make the difference in your life and your career. And I certainly don't want to pop out with something that's gonna embarrass the heck out of my mom. Something like that. So you
Yeah.
think about those things, when you kind of come up and doing this. But transitioning into some of the things that you are doing now, how did you get into what you're doing now with the step team? Because you say you started off with the step shows and that kind of thing like that, but how did you transition into actually having your own team? Please tell us what they are up to.
It all fell up under Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Being
Mm-hmm.
being a part of Kappa, my first year teaching, my principal was like, "Hey, I want to do a step team here." It was a brand new school. Uh,
Wow.
we was looking for something for the kids to be able to do after school, and she said, "I want you to start a step team out here for us in the middle school." And I was doing the shows, so it kind of was like,
Already. Yeah.
show. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll start a step team, and I did the middle school team from '99 to 2009. We did like 10 years. I was
10
just
years.
doing the middle school team, and
Mm-hmm.
they were always step at my show,
Mm-hmm.
and I would try to find at least one more show or two more shows that they can go to just to kind of get the young girls and the young boys that I did have out to kind of go see
Yes.
that. And
Mm-hmm.
then 99, one of my frat brothers, rest in peace to Kevin, he hosted a show. And the show that he hosted was in, I want to say Claremont or Leesburg. It was somewhere back home in my area.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hey, you want me to bring my girls? And he kind of was like, nah, he
Nah.
didn't say no, but he was just like we wasn't good enough.
Mm-hmm.
That put a fire in me because I was like, man, Polk County
You just
got
don't know.
enough talent. Like you just don't know. Polk County
Yeah.
got so much talent that, boy, if I started a
Oh.
team here, we gonna dominate.
Mm-hmm.
It
And
was a
look.
conversation. Now I truly knew that Polk County had the talent.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that we would become what we are now. You know what I'm saying at the
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah.
in 2010, that 2009 2010, I said I was gonna start a team, and I got a couple of people behind me to support it. One was a young lady named Sharina Williams, and she came in and helped with the middle school team the end of that year, and she was a cheerleader, so she was well known for having a lot of cheerleaders, and she
Mm-hmm.
convinced some of her girls to
To
come over
join.
to
Okay.
join us that summer as we started the transition. And then the blessing came that he had our coach Jessica, another coach, Jessica. She had just graduated from University of Florida, and she was a member of Delta Sigma Theta.
Mm-hmm.
And she was coming back home, and her sister was like, "Hey, my sister can help out. Here, she's coming back home. She's a Delta." So boom, there you have it. I mean, we started the process in 2010.
Just fell into place. See, people understand it's about timing. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You started one element of that, and when it's quality things like that, people tend to gravitate towards that.
yeah,
You mindful of who coming in and out, but still, people start gravitating towards that. And look, I mean, you went from one level to 2, 3, and
Yeah.
now look.
Yeah, right now we the biggest. I mean, I'll say within the last 10 years, we are the biggest female step team, but lately, I would say over the last 4 or 5 years, we probably the most popular step team, period. Like we've changed
Wow.
in that. I mean, we were one of the top three because we were always the female team.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm confident to say that we're probably the most popular step team across the country when it comes to step.
Look, and you said you have some hardware to back that up.
Yeah.
When I saw one of those last posts, and I'm like, wait a minute, y'all need to do some more stuff. And what was that big one that just recently you guys had won?
Well, we got 11 national titles, and then we got offered the huge big one that it's even bigger than national titles to me because
Mm-hmm.
those are going to come and go. Um, we got invited to Washington D.C.
Hey.
to perform at this thing called Step Africa Steps Classic.
Uh-huh.
Step Africa is probably the biggest nonprofit organization dealing with step to step culture.
Mm-hmm.
They travel across the country. They travel across the world. They just had left Africa teaching step.
Wow.
So they put on this
Wow.
Step Classic where I had 100 interviews for this classic, and we were one of only 5 high school and middle school teams that got selected. The other 3 were Greek organizations.
Mm-hmm.
So we were 5 out of 100 that got accepted.
And competing on the level of a collegiate group out
Yeah,
there.
yes.
Y'all are really tight. How many people do you actually have in the group
Right
on
now,
a good day?
this year, our organization is at 60. We've gotten up
Wow.
to 91 year after COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And to be truthfully, when COVID hit, I thought we were done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when COVID hit, we were down to 10 girls.
Mm-hmm.
And a good friend of mine came to me saying, hey, because I had only been doing high school at the time, and I would allow 8th graders to come in. A good friend of mine was like, hey, man, you should start a middle school team.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, I've been teaching middle school for 20 years. I don't want no parts of them. That's a different animal.
That is a different animal.
A different animal.
Woo!
One day while it was COVID going on, we kind of want to just kind of keep the girls in high spirits. So
Mm-hmm.
they let us back open up. I allowed them to come over and kind of just have a practice at my house. And I looked around and said, man, it's only 10 girls.
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to do? This might be the end of this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it goes on another 2 years of this, it's gonna die out, and no kids in Polk County are gonna be interested in doing step again.
Right.
I started that middle school team and was able to get 13 or 14 more girls.
Mm-hmm.
And when I tell you that was a blessing, and where it's taking us now, it took off. We opened that door up, and I mean, we got up to 90 girls at one time.
Wow. Yeah. So now you have to tell me about this. I just saw this flyer that's coming up. It's a competition.
Yes.
You got to let the people know. You got to let them know. You better jump on it.
We got nationals. We got nationals in Dallas, Texas. We are the varsity is the defending champs, and our JV was runner up last year. So we've been a part of this nationals since 2012. I want to say we're the only female team to win 4 of the nationals. It's been so competitive. Yeah, and we're going for number 5. We'll be there April 3rd through the 6th.
Wow.
Trying to come home with both the middle school trophy and the high school trophy.
You know what? This tends to happen a lot, and it's got to be God, because it's been happening more times than not. But as you were talking, I was automatically thinking of a documentary about
and we've had different interviews. We've had opportunities where I've gotten on the phone with Netflix when they were trying to look into it. I've got on the phone with different smaller companies that were interested in doing it. And I think the biggest fault was being that I'm in education. We have drama. They're young girls. They're not perfect. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have these kids. But we don't promote the drama.
Right.
For TV ratings, they want to see drama.
Okay, see, they might have been talking about more of a reality type of thing,
Right.
where yours might
Documentary, you're
be,
saying like they're following us and kind of
yes,
transitioning to what we're trying to do.
yes, and
Yeah,
they're
I'm
different
hoping one day
stories and
we
stuff
get
like
that.
that.
Yeah, we had it. We had one going on, and COVID hit.
Mm-hmm,
I had a small company around here locally that was filming us going around to every show.
mm-hmm.
Boom, COVID hit, and we had right when we were about to go to nationals, COVID hit that March, and we were going at the end of that March, and we had to shut down. And
And see all that footage right there that they got from there. You can take that footage and you can take some of that and explain that in the
yeah,
beginning. And then boom, you came back bigger, better, stronger than ever. And now you got this big team like this. They've been going and doing this. Boom, 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 boom. And then you may have a couple of them that want to tell their personal stories, and
yeah,
how I'm sure that this organization has really helped them personally,
yeah.
you
We
know,
definitely got that story. We
you
definitely got
know,
that
I
story.
mean, personally, from parents to the kids and stuff, being involved in something so positive and so constructive, I just love it. I think it would be such an impactful thing,
Yeah.
to have that and then make it into
Today,
smaller pieces for schools to see,
see it, yeah. Because
you
today
know.
I plan on dropping one of my alumni girls. Well, I'll probably drop both of them. They're kind of sharing their story and their experience with
Hmm.
how TBS benefited them for us to get girls to come out to try for the team.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Because it starts with just those right there. And then boom, just telling you this would be so powerful for young people, young girls, even if there's boys in there, even if there's a boys group, I don't know, but
Right.
my mind immediately starts brainstorming, you know what I'm saying? And I just love what you guys are doing a
Appreciate it.
lot. I love
Appreciate
it. I love it. And now you have one more thing coming up before we wrap this up. What's is that the one that's in June or July or whatever it was, the one you were just talking about?
it. For the
That
tryout.
yeah, was it a competition? That was
Oh,
their competition?
we have the nationals. Then we got another one in May where we go to New Jersey. We're both the middle school and varsity have won back to back there.
Mm-hmm.
We're going there in May for Memorial Weekend, Newark, New
Mm-hmm.
Jersey, and
Mm-hmm.
then we'll be celebrating our 15-year anniversary in June.
Man, I love that. Man, the city of Lakeland need to give you a key. I just love the thought and how impactful it has been for so many young people in one group. Outside of teams, like because I played a lot of sports too. Outside of your regular teams, you
Mhm.
have like 9 times, at least seven, eight, 9 times more people in one setting,
Yeah,
that's constructively working with a big, massive group of young people. And I
yeah.
just love that. And I just want to tell you, I really appreciate what you're doing. I admire it very much. And that's why I really wanted to have you on here so these people can see what's really going on out here with these young people and how Corey Tumer is making it happen and event planning and also with the young people. But let the people know how they can reach out to you if they want to have your group come out or if they want you to do an
Yeah,
event.
anybody interested in, always looking to sponsor. We are a nonprofit organization, so you can always write off taxes on the girls. If you're looking to donate anything, you can look us up on at TBS Step on Instagram, or you can get on Facebook, Taken by Surprise, or you can just contact me, Corey Tumer, on Facebook, Corey Tumer on Instagram. And we'll love if we have the time. We always try to get out in the community and do things for the community with the girls. Just timing is everything. When we're in season, it's a little bit more challenging.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you can look us up.
Okay. Thank you so very much once again for being here with me.
I
Hey,
appreciate
y'all.
it. I'm glad we
You,
got on. I know we were playing phone tag for a
yeah,
minute.
it happens, but I know what you're doing, and I know you got to know kind of what I'm doing.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
I just got out my shell. I used to be nervous about doing these little interviews.
really,
Yeah, this might be my second one.
why, why are you almost a pro? You
Uh,
almost a pro.
I don't know. I just kind of be nervous about them. But when we
It's
start
okay.
talking, I get out my shell and
Yes.
I be a lot more comfortable.
Yes, I love it because you start talking about something that you know that you love.
Yes,
That's what
correct.
it's about. So don't be afraid, don't be shy. It is all good. But stay where you are because we love that too. All right. Thank
Appreciate
you
you.
guys for watching. I appreciate you all too. Reach out to me on social media, Stephanie D. Sanders under all platforms, y'all. Just send me a message. So you can be on here, talk to me, tell me about what you're doing. All these go-getters, come on, reach out. Making moves, moving and shaking. I'm Stephanie D. Sanders, and this is Corey Tumer. Thank you. See you next time.